Hello, my dear friends. How are you doing? Hope you are having an amazing day and not having to deal with drama. Ready for new stories I have for you today? Let's go to the first one. Buckle up, as it's a long one, and don't forget to listen to the end of the story to hear my insights. Enjoy the stories, guys, and please like and subscribe. And of course, don't forget to leave a comment. 2 days ago, my son Jay, 17, came to my job upset and crying. He told me my stepdaughter, Kay, 19, came home with a ton of new things, and when he checked his room, the money he had been saving was gone. Kay doesn't have a job, and when she does have money, she spends it like it'll burn a hole in her pocket. My boss let me go home early, and I went home to ask Kay who took her shopping. Kay told me she used her own money. I told her to tell me the truth, and she told me to mind my own business. Jay's been working at Papa Murphy's and has been saving it. He was saving to surprise the dad of his friend who passed away, Bo, for his first birthday without him. His friends had given him money to load onto his card to pay at the pump. It's this weekend for 2 days, and they were going to treat Dad. Most kids would be saving for their first car or cool clothes, but he wanted to just be there for his friend's dad. Instead of arguing back and forth with Kay, I checked the camera we have to check on the dogs. It only caught her legs, but it was Kay going into Jay's room. The rule in my house is we don't go into each other's room. It's a mutual respect of privacy. I told Kay she was caught and that she needed to get everything to return it all. Kay started throwing every excuse. I had it saved for months. How do you know it was me? Someone must have broken in. Her mom came home and she burst into tears, saying we were ganging up on her. I showed my wife the video and what happened. Kay ended up saying, "Why does he get to have all the money anyway? He worked his butt off." I told my wife she needed to make Kay return everything, and she said no, that it would be embarrassing to return it all, and that when Kay got a job she would repay Jay. I said it'll be more embarrassing when she gets arrested for stealing $400. We argue, and I tell my wife Kay has broken a non-negotiable rule, as well as the law, by stealing. She is 19, she doesn't pay rent and needs to leave. My wife says, "If you kick her out, I'm going too." So I asked her if she was willing to replace the money stolen. We have separate bank accounts. Force Kay to return, or she could give me her half of the rent early. We split all bills. No. They packed a few bags and left. I was not going to rip the bags of stuff out of her hands. I don't think getting physical would have been the smartest thing to do. Before you make me out to be the a-hole, I do not have extra money for him to still go. I can only replace the small amount back to his friends, and it's not enough to make the trip. He went to bed without eating and has been crushed. I posted to a sub "Am I the a-hole?" and was flooded with people telling me I should have called the police. So this morning that is what I did. The solution was that the officer would call my wife to bring Kay to the station to talk, or she could return the items and pay back Jay. Sort of a scare tactic, because I was told it was a civil matter. My wife straight up ducking lied to the officer and said she gave the money to Kay. Since I don't have actual proof of Jay's money, no proof other than her walking into his room, nothing can be done. I'm livid. I literally watched Jay get his heart broken at the police station. Through tears, he said, "How could they do this to me? What was this all for? I just wanted to see Bo's dad." Jay is my son from a previous relationship. I had to lecture him on not keeping large amounts of cash in his room, but he didn't think it would get stolen. My wife and Kay have support. Staying with family, this won't affect them. Well, OP needs to divorce his wife. She's just horrible. No wonder her daughter turned out like that. I can't imagine how horrible this must be for OP's son, who worked so hard just to have his trust betrayed, and it all taken away like that. OP's stepdaughter will certainly continue to steal with mommy covering for her, and she will be caught one day. Maybe she'll even steal from mommy. Who knows? OP definitely doesn't want people like his wife and stepdaughter next to his son. And now let's hear the community's opinion. Serenity561 says, "I can't wait for Kay to steal from someone who has firm evidence and doesn't cover it up. Her mother is doing her a major disservice by covering it up, and by showing that she is willing to lie to the police. Had her mother chosen to discipline her harshly for this could have been the moment that turned Kay's life around. I think Kay will likely face prison time in the future, and if her mother keeps lying to police officers, she might be there with her." Learning says, "The sad thing is this, Kay will steal again, and her mom's lies won't rescue her. Karma will be calling for Kay." Puzzle-headed Cause 94 says, "How can people be so horrible? I couldn't imagine condoning such behavior from my child. What she doesn't realize is the monster she is creating by letting her get away with this. There was a lesson to be learned here if she had been embarrassed returning the things. One day she will steal from the wrong people. As for your son, this has been a terrible experience for him, and I won't judge him, because in our family we don't lock our rooms, but closing our doors is as good as locking them because we respect other people's privacy. And not to forget, you should leave that horrible woman. Update. This weekend, my wife showed back up with a sheriff's escort. She came armed with receipts showing that she bought the furniture in our rental and that she needed to take everything. I tried explaining I gave cash for some of the items, but guess what? Just like with Jay, cash doesn't have a trail. Her family helped her move everything in under an hour. With how quick this all happened, the cynic in me thinks my wife had this planned well before what happened. My wife contacted the landlord and paid a lot of money to break the lease, almost double the money that Kay stole. But of course she didn't offer to repay Jay. After everyone left and my landlord called, I had a mini breakdown. Everything was moving faster than I could comprehend, and honestly, felt like I was watching a movie. Jay came up to me and said, "I'm so sorry you lost everything because of me, and it's not a big deal. I'll tell Mom it's okay, that Kay needed it more than me." That's all I needed to snap out of it. I told him he is my everything, not her, not the house, not the furniture, not the food that was in the fridge. Yes, super cheesy, but there's nothing my wife can do, say, or give me to make me overlook or be okay with what they did to him. I asked him, "Are you going to feel comfortable around them? What about when you are gone? I don't want you to have to worry about what will she steal next." Kay is not going to get away with this. My wife made a choice when the police officer asked her about Kay, and she chose to defend and protect Kay, just like I'm choosing to protect Jay. If Jay isn't comfortable, I'm not comfortable, and I told him that. The people in my life have been slamming me online, saying things like, I'm uncomfortable that he would choose his son over his wife, and his son is almost an adult. It's time to grow up and be a man. It doesn't matter what age I am. I will always protect Jay. I blocked everyone after that. Yes, he is almost an adult, but that doesn't mean it's okay to steal from him. Having a crime or something bad happening to you isn't a rite of passage to be an adult. He is a responsible, hardworking, honest, kind, almost man. But he is also the 8-year-old who used to run to me every day after work with a huge smile like I hung the moon. I cannot afford the full rent, so luckily my landlord has agreed to let us leave by the 1st. The only place we have to go is my mom's, who lives across the state. This means I have to pull Jay out of his last year of high school and transfer him. I have to sell what little we have left here, and that might include selling Jay's beater car. But the silver lining is, Jay and I can transfer locations for work. Mama has always been more of a mother to Jay than my wife. Moms are healing at any age. I'm not saying that I'm not devastated, that I'm not suffering emotional whiplash, and I'm not saying the things that are being said about me in real life aren't affecting me, because it is. But my son needs me. He is still grieving his friend, missing his senior year with his friends. And I'm not the kind of parent to say, because I said so, or we are moving, and you don't get a choice or opinion on it. That isn't me. Update 2. If you had told me 20-ish days ago that I would be searching for a decent divorce lawyer who doesn't require a retainer fee, I would have laughed in your face. For Jay's sake, I'm not going to expose you on social media, but I won't hold back if I'm asked about it. Your friends and family have your back, and can't believe I would go through the shame and embarrassment of a divorce. It's mind-blowing that I'm getting the blame for this. Nobody cares about Jay except me. Y'all have shown your true colors. I realize that your people are the kind who victim shame. Well, what was she wearing? Was she flirting with him? Did she let him buy her drinks type of people? You are who you surround yourself with. It's not our fault your dad is broke. Jay should have hit it better, finders keeper. I'm uncomfortable that he would choose his son over his wife. Why did he have so much cash on him anyway? What did he think was going to happen? That one stings because, what the hell? He thought his belongings were safe in his room. It never crossed his mind that there was a possibility of him getting robbed. Kay broke a house rule by going into Jay's room. She flipped his room upside down looking for cash, and once she found it, she consciously put everything back in its place. She then took the money and went shopping. When she was caught, she got an attitude and told me to mind my business when I asked her where she got the money, because she can't have more than $5 before it burns a hole in her pocket. She played the victim and cried to you when you got home because she was scared of us for ganging up on her. She wasn't scared. She isn't sorry. She doesn't care. Kay is a ducking sociopath. Kay committed petty larceny. I'm not going to tell him that he will make new friends at his new school, that it's only for maybe a year max, or that in the grand scheme of life, this really isn't that bad. I don't need to remind him that there are kids who are going through worse things, that he just needs to get over it because he is just a kid, and I'm the parent, so what I say goes. He has to start his senior year at a new school. I have to pull him from the friends he's gone to school with since kindergarten. He cried with me when I told him we would have to rehome our animals temporarily because Mama can't have pets at her place, which is where we were moving to. So I'm going to sit with him in the, this ducking sucks of it. He came into my room with a bag of Swedish fish to share, to tell me it was okay to give up on staying here. He told me he was sorry that you weren't the woman I thought you were, and that it really must hurt me. He also cracked a joke that at least we won't have to eat any more of your unseasoned cafeteria food. The only thing that is keeping me from a complete guilty break is that I know Jay knows I tried. He saw me posting everywhere to get a roommate that would move in to cover your half of the rent. He was with me going door to door in 100-degree heat to offer lawn services to neighbors to be able to afford the additional security deposit I need because you have better credit than me. You made a liar out of me. I instilled into Jay that if he works for something hard enough, no one can ever take it or throw it back in his face if he earned it. I've been calling animal shelters trying to get info on temporary foster homes because my mom's place doesn't allow pets and we can't stay here. Just know that there is going to be a time when you metaphorically, possibly quite literally, can't bail Kay out. You are doing her such a huge disservice enabling her and cleaning up her messes because she isn't going to learn any life skills. No one likes a spoiled, entitled brat. Lord have mercy on her when she gets her first dose of real karma. Update 3. A quick refresher. My stepdaughter stole hundreds of dollars from my son. My wife wouldn't make her return the things she bought and flat out lied to the police, saying she gave the money to her. I chose my son over my wife and Kay. I immediately kicked Kay out, and my wife went with her. My wife terminated our lease early, and I was living out of my car while my son stayed with a friend so he could attend homecoming week and his senior homecoming dance with his friends. The plan was to move across the state to crash on my mom's couch because she is the only family we have. Jay was crushed, but there was no other choice, or so I thought. The day I was supposed to take our first load of things to my mom's, I discovered my emergency credit card was maxed out by Kay on makeup at Sephora. This was a blessing in disguise, because while I was waiting for the fraud investigation to clear, I found a place that I could afford, and it is 5 minutes from the school. Jay gets to stay with his friends at the same school, and gets to start back at Papa Murphy's where he worked all summer. I'm officially filing for divorce. I'm pressing charges on behalf of Jay and myself against Kay for the theft. I have audio recording, messages, emails, Facebook screenshots that my lawyer says will be a slam dunk. The only heart-wrenching thing is, we can only afford one pet deposit, so 2 of our animals have to be surrendered. All 3 pets have been with the foster, but it isn't working out, so we have to let 2 go. But this will be the last super hard decision we have to make for a while. I'm looking forward to healing and moving on from the toxic person I married and her twit of a daughter. Despite her pleas and attempt to publicly humiliate me on Facebook, I will never forgive her for this. She thinks I should be embarrassed for getting a divorce, but I would be more embarrassed staying with her after she showed me she had 0 regard for my son. It's not a new chapter. On Tuesday, Jay and I start our new book of life. Hi, I'm female 36, and my fiancé, male 30, are engaged and our wedding set to be in 1 week. My fiancé proposed to me last year and gifted me a beautiful diamond ring. I in return bought his ring. My fiancé was engaged before me when he was 22 years old, and his ex-fiancée Sarah was his best friend, but the relationship didn't work out and they broke up. Now they have a semi-friend relationship because they have a lot of mutual friends. I never actually liked her. She's full of herself, but we didn't cross paths, so we were cool. Last week in my bachelorette party, that my sister-in-law prepared for me, Sarah came wearing a stunning diamond ring, very unique one, and looks very familiar. And she started showing off her ring, but I thought good for her. She has a beautiful ring. Later I heard my sister-in-law telling Sarah she was an a-hole for wearing the ring and should take it off. So later I asked my sister-in-law why she told Sarah that, and she told me that was our family heirloom that her great-grandfather made that my fiancé gifted Sarah. He proposed with that ring. I would be lying if I said I wasn't angry. She intentionally wore that ring so she could show off. I asked my sister-in-law why didn't Sarah return the ring. She told me that Sarah refused to return it because she loved it so much, and mother-in-law insisted that was okay. I find it very weird that she still has it, especially because of its great value to the family. Yesterday in a family dinner, my mother-in-law told me in front of everyone, "Don't be sad we like Sarah, so she can have that family ring, because she's family." I didn't tell anyone, not even my fiancé, what happened in the party, and my sister-in-law didn't also. And before I said anything, my fiancé told his mother that she stole that ring, and no one even likes Sarah. She's your friend's daughter, and not family, and Sarah was uninvited from the wedding because of her behavior. Of course, mother-in-law threw a tantrum, but stopped when he told her that he will uninvite her too. Later that night, my father-in-law apologized for mother-in-law's behavior and told me that it's okay to demand the ring because it's yours. Today at uni, Sarah came to me still wearing that ring and demanded that I invite her back to the wedding and not to be petty. And oh boy, that was the last straw. I demanded that she hand me that ring and that she stole what's mine. I just got a text in my fiancé's family's group chat for mother-in-law saying I'm the a-hole for demanding the family ring. So am I the a-hole here? Edit. I don't want the ring, it's just the idea of her having it bothers me. Also, my mother-in-law's behavior. Info, because a lot of comments ask about it. Sarah was invited to the bachelorette party by mother-in-law. I had 2 parties, one with my friends, and the other one was requested by mother-in-law. I didn't know she was invited. Update. Hi everyone. Thank you all for your input. I talked to my fiancé about it, and he told me not to bother myself with them, and he will take care of everything. I told him after reading all your comments that I understand that I didn't have any claim for the ring. I just felt angry at Sarah and mother-in-law's behaviors, and stressed because of the wedding and uni exams. Last month, my fiancé's grandparents gifted me all the family heirlooms. My mother-in-law didn't get anything because my fiancé's grandmother didn't like her. And she also gave a certificate that all of them are mine to use as gifts if I want. I will be looking at it to see if that ring registers there. Unless your fiancé's family is willing to get that ring back themselves, it's her ring. It's not your rightful property. But she better accept that keeping the family heirloom means she's not invited to the wedding. Duh. Your fiancé should have been the one to have the confrontation with Sarah. Technically, you aren't married yet and have no claim to anything from his family. Everyone sucks here. She's clearly in the wrong for not returning the ring when the engagement ended, and an even bigger one for deliberately flaunting it. Your future mother-in-law is an a-hole for the game she's playing and what appears to be interference, supporting her in not returning the ring to the ex-fiancé. Your father-in-law is a minor a-hole for encouraging you to demand the ring back. But you were still an a-hole for demanding the ring. It's not your ring. It's your fiancé's family ring, and he is the one who needs to demand it back.